So my favorite genre or type of baking would be, of course, cakes, because I love to decorate the cakes, but I love making cookies. Cookies are so fun, especially sugar cookies, because you can just take the blank slate of the cookie and it's kind of like decorating a cake, and plus it's really tasty too. I also love making breads, because they're so fun to make, and fresh baked bread smells amazing. So I love making breads. Some things that I don't like to bake are pies. Pies are kind of my downfall. I can never get the crust right. So I guess pies, I don't really like to make those. Another thing that I kind of shun upon are box mixes, especially like box brownies, and those don't taste very good, so I don't like using box mixes a lot. I mean, I can use, like, say, a box mix, but if you combine other stuff to it, so it makes it semi-homemade, I can deal with that, but completely box mix, that's like a no-no in my book. No, not at all. Let's see, favorite genre of food I like to make is Italian, because I love eating pasta, and even the atmosphere of the Italian community is awesome. So pasta is one of my favorites I like to make. Unfortunately, I don't know how to make homemade pasta yet, but I love eating pasta in any kind. I also love making homemade pizza. I make a homemade honey yeast crust, and I usually add Alfredo sauce and sausage and green peppers and lots of cheese to my pizzas. So that's the genre of food I like to cook. One type of food I absolutely hate is broccoli, because I had a really bad experience when I was a little kid with broccoli, where my mom told me I couldn't leave the table until I had eaten all my broccoli, so I stuffed it all in my mouth and kind of sat there for an hour with the broccoli in my mouth. Let's just say I was kind of scarred a little bit from that, so any taste of like whole broccoli, yeah, that's just not a good thing for me. Let's see. I would say I am pretty creative in the kitchen. For example, one of the cakes that I did was based off a t-shirt design. It's this awesome skull cake with a crown and some flowers bursting out of it. And it was really cool. I saw this t-shirt design and I was just inspired by it. And some things I learned from making that cake are how to make a gum paste crown. I had never made a gum paste crown before, so I looked on the internet of how to do that, and I made a pretty cool, elaborate gum paste crown by just cutting out the gum paste and laying it on a Tupperware and letting it dry for a week. Another thing I learned was how to make sugar gems. I had never even thought of working with sugar before, and it was really cool. I found another website of how to make the sugar gems, and it turned out really good for the very first time I had ever made that, so I was pretty surprised. Some other things is I had to create my own type of flower, so I had to create a pattern for the flower and find different techniques of actually how to get that flower shape. It took me about 2 or 3 times before I finally found a technique to get the flower right. And I just did some painting onto the actual cake to add like a wood grain texture. Another fun thing I learned from the past is when sculpting cakes, like the skull I made, is to make sure the cake is really solid. So when I was carving the cake, I made sure after I filled the cake was to set it in the fridge for a couple hours so the frosting could set up. And I just went ahead and just started cutting away at the skull. I had a little model to go off of, but I just freehanded the entire skull and that was really cool to do that, and just covered it with some frosting and fondant, and just put everything together, and that was a really elaborate cake that I did, and it was lots of fun.